Hey, it's the Empire, Geoboxing Empire, Boxing Boxing. Now, man, Anthony Joshua, man, he was scheduled to fight Alexander Usyk, but Alexander Usyk, due to political circumstances, decided to join the Ukraine to fight Russia, right? So he's busy with being enrolled in the military. That being said, man, they say Anthony Joshua is going to be doing an intern fight, and the big name he's calling out is Deontay Wilder, man. Now Eddie Hearn threw out a lot of names. He threw out Deontay Wilder, Joy Joyce, Luis Ortiz, Otto Wallen, but the talks and the rumblings about Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua are all coming back all over again. Understand that when Anthony Joshua mentioned Deontay Wilder, he started hopping in comments in Twitter talking about he never ducked Deontay Wilder and how he'd fight him. So all this talks that has been basically been real silent on has basically resurfaced. So that's really good to see from Anthony Joshua. Now, man, I got this tweet retweeted from Michael Benson, and it says, and I quote, Anthony Joshua's top choice for his next fight would be probably Deontay Wilder. Eddie Hearn has said, assuming Alexander Usyk is unavailable. Hearn revealed AJ also picked out Luis Ortiz, Otto Wallen, and Joy Joyce. Does not want an easy intern fight at IFL TV. That's what it says, man. And I have a tweet for you guys in the video. And yeah, man, it's wild stuff, man. Now this is a really big deal. Anthony Joshua at this point of his career, he already has 2 L's. There's no reason to not fight the big names at this point of his career. You might as well just get it out the way. There's big fights for Anthony Joshua. He needs to be fighting all big names from here on out. The Luis Ortizes, Deontay Wilders, and Andy Ruiz, maybe a third time if Andy Ruiz can prove himself again. The Tyson Furies, he just needs to do whatever he needs to do to get these big paydays, because that fight with Deontay Wilder, he would have got paid at least $100 million. Just flat rate right off the bat. So that being said, man, these fights should have happened. They thought they can do this Pacquiao versus Floyd thing and built the fight up for a billion years, and it didn't go right. People don't even understand. Even in the Pacquiao versus Floyd thing, Pacquiao was taking losses up to the Floyd fight, right? The guy was losing to Eric Morales, right, to Tim Bradley, right? Pacquiao lost to Tim Bradley, right, and then he got knocked out by Marquez. So there's just fights in Pacquiao's career building up to the Floyd Mayweather fight that, we're just gonna keep calling Floyd out, fight everyone, and then he ended up taking losses to lesser opponents when he could have fought Floyd for much more money. So all that being said, man, the same thing happened with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. While Deontay Wilder did lose to Tyson Fury, which was a good, if you're gonna lose to anyone, why not lose to the former unified champion who beat the man, right? Which was Tyson Fury beating Vladimir Klitschko. So that was actually a good loss. He didn't lose to like a mandatory or voluntary like Anthony Joshua did the first time when he lost to Andy Ruiz, right? When he lost to Andy Ruiz, that was supposed to be a showing out fight. He's supposed to come out and show out to him in America, right? Lost to Andy Ruiz off a 2-week notice. Wild stuff, right? Now, and then he lost to a cruiserweight, Alexander Usyk, a mandatory. So, man, it seems like it happens a lot in boxing, man. It happened to Teofimo Lopez as well. He had 3 of the 4 titles, ironically, just like Anthony Joshua did. And ironically, at the same time, he had everything besides the WBC title, which at the time Deontay Wilder was carrying. So it's just wild stuff how, history, it rhymes. And just like with Anthony Joshua having all the titles besides the WBC title, Teofimo Lopez had all the titles besides the WBC title, and he ended up losing to George Gambosis, right? And before that, Lomachenko had all the titles besides the WBC title. So, man, all that being said, man, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder is a big fight, and I personally think that if Usyk were to come back and let's say Usyk fights Tyson Fury, if Usyk fought Tyson Fury and Anthony Joshua fought Deontay Wilder on the same day, there's no doubt in my mind that Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua fight would just do bigger. There's no doubt about it. There's just no doubt about it, right? Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder are the 2 biggest heavyweight stars in boxing, regardless of the accolades that Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk have, right? Deontay Wilder defended his belt 10 title defenses, and Anthony Joshua defended his belt 5 or 6 times, right? That's a lot, right? And he had 3 of the 4 titles. So that all being said, while Alexander Usyk beat Anthony Joshua, well, so ended Andy Ruiz. You know, how long can Alexander Usyk defend those titles? Can he really defend it 6 times? And understand that, you know, Anthony Joshua fought some big hitters, and so he had some mandatories while defending those titles. He fought some big hitters, right? Beat Alexander Povetkin, right? He beat a mandatory fighter in Dominic Brazil, right? He did a lot of things, right? Anthony and Deontay Wilder, you know, he fought Luis King Kong Ortiz, who was mandatory, and he just defended the belt. He did what he's supposed to do, right? Beat Bermane Stiverne, destroyed Chris Arreola, and we've seen what Arreola did to Andy Ruiz by dropping him. So these are fighters that people don't respect until the favorite fighter almost loses to them, and then they're gonna respect them. So while, you know, Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk just got these titles, you know, it's one thing to win these titles, but it's really the defending of the titles that really solidifies you as that guy. So, you know, Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder already did that. They already paid their dues. So they have much bigger fan bases, right? It's not just a popularity thing. These people actually put the blood, sweat, and tears in to make themselves stars. Alexander Usyk, maybe at cruiserweight he put the blood, sweat, and tears in, but at heavyweight, man, you know, while he beat Anthony Joshua, he still needs to really defend those titles and build his name up. Same thing with Tyson Fury, man. The guy's always talking about retiring, and you know, he only had 1 title defense of his WBC title. I'm not taking anything away from the guy, but you know, he didn't put the same kind of work that Anthony Joshua did in the game, right? They both beat Vladimir Klitschko. One stopped him, one UD'd him, right? I mean, you watch Tyson Fury Klitschko fight, it looked like a sparring match in there. You know, none of them were really hurt. No one was bleeding. It was a clean match where, you know, no one really got hurt in that fight, man. So, but you know, with the Anthony Joshua Klitschko fight, someone had to get stopped for, you know, that fight to conclude, and Anthony Joshua won. So with all that being said, man, Deontay Wilder, man, he definitely paid his dues as well as a champion, and this is the fight that people wanted, man. This is the fight that people really wanted, and this did not lose any luster. You know, there's some fans out there that want some god and you have to be undefeated, but that's just not realistic, man. People take L's. And these fighters, you know, the fighters that really fight the most fighters would be known as that guy instead of some undefeated guy who was protected and fought 1 or 2 good guys and retired. Because Anthony Joshua could have did that a long time ago. Deontay Wilder could have stayed fighting nobodies. He didn't have to fight Tyson Fury, but they stepped up to the plate, and what happened. So, you know, we're gonna see how this whole thing plays out with Deontay Wilder and Anthony Joshua. It's a fight that's definitely gonna happen now. There's no doubt about it. There's no waiting it out, because, you know, with this whole restrictions that happened in 2020, you know, people need some buzz to talk about, and this is the fight that's really gonna create that buzz. And Deontay Wilder still has an extreme fan base. So does Anthony Joshua. And this is just going to solidify, you know, their star power. And I do think this is a fight that can do big numbers, man. Big numbers. So, you know, I'd be really excited to see it, man. We're going to see how this whole thing plays out. But this is going to be a big one, man. If you're going to take an L, you might as well take an L to a big dog, man. And not be trying to play games with fighting the whole world. And you might lose to somebody. You might underestimate. You know, no one really thought Alexander Usyk was going to beat Anthony Joshua, and then it happened. You know, no one thought it was going to happen, and then it happened. You know, Tyson Fury, man, the guy he was a drug fiend, man. He was not supposed to come back and do anything versus Deontay Wilder. While he beat Klitschko, the guy was having drug problems. The guy was off for a long layoff. The guy was not supposed to do what he did. You know, this is what happens in pro boxing. It's real crazy stuff, man. You just don't know what's going to happen. But that's why I watch it, man. It's just wild, man. It's like a movie sometimes. These stories, it seems so surreal, but it's reality, man. It's reality. Anyway, man, let me know how you guys feel about it, though. Like, comment, subscribe. This is the Empire. Geoboxing Empire. Peace. Geoboxing.